The vuvuzelas are ready for an art form that will never be forgotten in the world of football, as South Africa prepares to host a World Cup for the first time in its history. In 2010, world football was introduced to something that some called a revolution and others called art, Tiki-Taka. The ball seemed eager to create a masterpiece at the feet of the matadors. It took on such a life of its own that just to breathe, it had to move from one matador's foot to another's. And so, the opponents of the matadors ran harder and harder, desperate to win the ball and catch their own breath. They grew tired, they wore down, and in the end, the matadors said checkmate and forced them to surrender. And there was only one name that carried that trophy home as if it had never even broken a sweat. La Furia Roja, Spain. Let's begin and listen once again to the epic story of Spain, the first World Cup champion in its history. For many years, Spanish football could not reach the status of an elite global brand, and because of that, people began to describe them as big potential, small success. They had talented players. As the years passed, their league was filled with teams built around quality footballers. But in major tournaments, Spain always seemed to say goodbye too early. The fans' expectations had faded, and they had grown used to disappointment. But they never gave up their passion for football. Maybe that was what kept them going. For many years, Spanish football could not reach the status of an elite global brand, and because of that, people began to describe them as big potential, small success. They had talented players. As the years passed, their league was filled with teams built around quality footballers. But in major tournaments, Spain always seemed to say goodbye too early. The fans' expectations had faded, and they had grown used to disappointment. But they never gave up their passion for football. Maybe that was what kept them going. And with that belief, something began to change. The 2008 European Championship. Spain won that tournament as if they were performing an opera for the Spanish people. The Tiki-Taka system had now been presented to the world as the art of football. Xavi, Iniesta, Villa, these three matadors helped Spanish football rise from its ashes once again. When the calendar turned to 2010, Spain was no longer just a team. They had become the representative of a football philosophy that would be taught in schools and studied in classrooms. Inspired by Johan Cruyff, Guardiola had integrated this system into Barcelona, and then, through Spain, it was announced to the entire world. The world was not ready for this. With 5 goals, David Villa, the tournament's top scorer. Arriving at the tournament in incredible form, the Matador came to Spain's rescue in every difficult moment. Fast, intelligent with his positioning, and with goals worthy of a Matador, he gave us a true footballing work of art. From the group stage onward, he carried Spain on his back with his goals and assists. Andres Iniesta. Although one goal may not look like an important statistic on paper, his performance was priceless. Every pass he made brought excitement for Spain, like a quick breath in and out. Fernando Torres. He could not fully find his best form in this tournament, but with his speed, he always remained a threat to the opposing defense. Spain's goal statistics may seem low, but one thing must not be forgotten. This team almost never conceded. In total, across 8 matches, they allowed only 2 goals. Not conceding while playing Tiki-Taka was Spain's greatest weapon. Spain began the tournament with a cold shower, a 1-0 defeat to Switzerland. But after that, with flawless Tiki-Taka engineering, they never stopped again. They defeated Paraguay in the quarterfinal and Germany in the semifinal. Then came the final day, and standing in front of them was the Netherlands, a team with an aggressive attacking mindset. And that final turned into more of a boxing match than a football match. The Netherlands attacked aggressively, and the yellow cards just kept coming. Regular time and extra time were still 0-0. Just when Spain's hope seemed to be fading, the 116th minute, Andres Iniesta received the ball after a through pass from Cesc Fabregas, and goal. Spain became World Cup champions for the first time. Iniesta took off his shirt, and that moment became a moment of both loyalty and joy. A moment when the whole world seemed to stop. In 2010, Spain didn't just win a trophy, they turned Tiki-Taka football into a global brand. Tiki-Taka was an art, and the world watched that art for many years. In our next video, we'll talk about aggressive Germany in 2014, their unforgettable 7-1 victory, and their World Cup triumph. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.